folks, how you doing? And welcome to my channel. It's lovely to have you here again for another video. So I thought we'd have a chat about the new series on Netflix called With Love and Meghan. I've even got some tea and I'm gonna pour it on camera for you. Do you like my new teapot? It's like I don't think you can see the colour on it. It looks like grey there, but it's actually like a lilac-y colour. And I've got my cup there, just letting it stew. When I was making the tea, I thought, it's actually, I didn't think this through. I could have done this as a cacao chat, but I didn't. But I'm going to do a cacao chat for March. Anyway, so with Love Megan, this isn't going to be a tarot reading, although I've got some oracle cards. I am going to do a tarot reading on it, but I'm going to do it on the channel GT Tarot, which is our joint channel where we're both doing readings on it, me and Gary. So if you liked that content I used to do, it's on GT Tarot. The link is below, but this is just going to be a chat, an energy information session, energy reading, see what comes up. So, obviously, the documentary has landed this week, and as expected, it's caused a bit of a hoo-ha online. And I was looking over some of it this morning on various different platforms, and Raw reporters and this reporter and this influencer, and they're all making the videos and they're all getting the money in. They're all getting the knickers in a twist. And I started to look at some of the things that have come up in this documentary, not documentary, I don't know, whatever it is, lifestyle thing. And I am currently reading this book, which is why I was gazing at it, called Let Them by Mel Robbins. I'm that much through, can you see there? So I've got that little bit there to read, which I possibly will get finished today. So I'm reading this at the minute, which I can recommend is an excellent book. So it's called Let Them by Mel Robbins. And I started to get a little bit about some of the stuff that's in this documentary. You know, anyway, I'm not going to go into it. And I heard the words, let them, let them. Now, if you know the let them theory, let me just briefly explain the let them theory is let them. Let them gaslight you. Let them not answer back to your text. Let them whatever. Let them go quiet or whatever. Let them. It isn't let them. And I must explain this where you just go, just let them. That's it. There's nothing else I can do. Just let them. You can't just let it. Because in the book, she explains it's let them and then it goes on to let me. So let them do them. Let them be them. Let them have their human experience. But let them, let you, let me. Okay, so let them and let me. So when it comes to let me, it's about what I can do in this situation to make my experience, my life better. I heard let them, then I heard the words let her have her business. Let her have her Instagram. Let her have these stuff with Netflix. Let her do a cooking show. Let her wear the same hat that Pamela Anderson's wore. Let her, let her, let her. And I sat with it and I was like, wow, wow. And then I heard, let me create something. Let this be an inspiration to create something that anyone can create and everyone has the right to create. And I was getting all these different downloads for having my breakfast and I went to hang some washing out. And it was like, wow. Imagine if, and can I just say before we go any further, I've had my triggers with the whole Meghan thing. And I think we've all got, many of us, not all of us, many of us have had wound in here at various different levels. And I can I just explain as well that I think Meghan is one of many souls on this planet that are here to show us something. I don't like a lot of what she's done. I find a lot of what she does is kind of lacks depth for me. For me, it lacks depth, but for somebody else, it could be wonderful and that's great and that's brilliant. Okay, but for me, it's not my thing. But then lifestyle thing isn't my thing. Um, but let her, let her. Imagine if, rather than, let's pour tea before we start. There you go. Imagine if when we got really stressed, which we have done, I think many people have, or upset or triggered or whatever. And I'm brave enough to admit my triggers. Are you brave enough to admit yours? But I'm also brave enough to say that I'm dealing with them. Um, Imagine if we said, okay, let her set up an Instagram, let her set up a business, let her do her videos, let her do whatever she does at Invictus. Well, let Invictus, sorry, not Invictus, apparently. Um, let her does what she needs to do. Let her. When you actually step into that energy, it frees you up. It frees you up. And imagine if at that moment, if you nipped it in the bud and went, let her. And that boof of energy that you felt, imagine if you alchemized that into putting it back into your own life, into your own relationship, your own marriage, your own friendships, your own business, setting up your own business, your own social media. And then I went on, I'm back on X, by the way, and don't run at me because I'm back on X, because I said I've come off of X. I've gone on X because I'm there to spread some light, because I refuse to have certain things taken from us. And every time I go on X and put a post on, I'm alchemizing. So before you run at me, because it's owned by Elon Musk, because people like to run at me at the minute. We like to run at everybody at the minute. Not everybody likes to run at me, but there's a one or two that like to come in and run and make judgments. I'm there to spread, so I'm actually quite enjoying it on this. If you want to follow me on X, I'm back on X, and the links all to my socials are down below. Imagine if people went onto X and other platforms when they felt that oomph energy and used it to spread some light, used it to share somebody else's post. If you're the people that are triggered that because Meghan, they feel that Meghan's copied Pamela Anderson. I mean, I'm gonna. There's some right truth bombs coming in this video. Um, there's some right truth. Anyway, shh. Imagine if you could use that energy to go off and support other creators, or use it to actually further your own social media. You know, can I just say as well, because I do know quite a bit about social media now and how the world runs in around social media. And in this book, actually, The Let Them Theory, Mel Robbins talks about when she first went into podcasting, and she went to well-known podcasters and said, can I have some advice? I want to set up a podcast. And they said, well, do what we're doing. And she said, yeah, that's copying. And I don't think she mentions who she spoke to, but they said, that's what we do. It's a tried and tested formula that works. Why change it? Just put your own personality into it. The whole well-being thing, the whole whimsy lifestyle thing is very samey. You watch a lot of that type of content and they're all very similar. They're all doing ice cubes with flowers in. They're all wearing the big summer hats. They've all got the gorgeous table set up. They're all doing it. It's a tried and tested formula. Um, It's like with anything, you walk into any aristocratic or royal house in this country, the United Kingdom, and they're all selling the same things. They're all selling honeys, they're all selling jams, preservatives, they're all selling fudges and shortcake biscuits and all of that. It's a tried and tested formula that works. Now, yes, she may be copying, but I'm not in her consciousness to know that. And I wouldn't try to access her consciousness to find that out because that's wrong. But let's alchemize this. Rather than turning her into your worst enemy, especially if you've never met her, and I'm not sticking up for her, I know there's been some concerning elements here, but let her. Imagine if the anger and the upset and the fear take this away from Meghan as well. It's the same with Trump. I can get triggered with Trump. Come at me all you want. I'm not bothered. Um, there's many people on the world stage we're getting triggered with at the minute. Many people within our lives that we're getting triggered with at the minute. But rather than sitting in that armchair, festering and moaning and complaining and berating and letting anger come into the body, which causes dis-ease and stops you making your best life, why don't we go out there and create something? Why don't we go out there? Imagine if all that energy that we use to bring somebody down online, imagine if we used it in another way. And I think as well, I strongly, firmly believe after a sip of tea, That when humanity starts to get it and starts to do that, we'll be able to lift to the next level of consciousness. Yeah. Because really, Meghan can't hurt you. Royal family can't hurt you. Trump can't hurt you. Really, on a personal level, they're not in your personal circle. I mean, Meghan really can't hurt you. I mean, Trump can because he can make decisions about your job, about your money, and about your country. Okay, so yeah, he can to some extent have an impact on your life, but Meghan can't. Amber Heard can't. Anybody else that we get triggered with, as long as they're not a politician. But even if they are a politician, even if they are a prime minister or a president or a king or whatever, or a queen, and even if they do bring in something that can affect the collective or the country, you can still alchemize that. You can still turn that around. If you walk into your work and you find out that for whatever reason your job's gone, that door closing is a blessing in disguise because that door closing is allowing that other door to open, the one that you've been refusing to look at. It could be the fact that it gives you time to decompress. It could be that it gives you time to breathe. It could be that it gives you time to actually slow the pace of living down because of how you've been working in the rat race, in the matrix. It could be that push that's needed to get you into self-employment, to get you into another job. I was going to say unfortunately, but it's not unfortunately. There are some big knocks coming for humanity, some big catalytic, that's possibly the wrong word, said wrong. It's the right word, said wrong. Um, Events that are coming on a personal level and on a collective level. If I said to you that every single person that comes into your life that triggers the shit out of you is actually trying to get you to grow and wake up, that dis-ease within the body is trying to get you to wake up, that toxic boss in your life is trying to get you to wake up to your life, to your empowerment, to your mission, to your joy, to your compassion, to your love. I mean, looking at the Meghan thing from a different, I mean, I don't really know of anyone really, especially in my time, that's been ripped apart as much as Meghan. I don't think so. I may be wrong. I don't know every single famous person in the world. But another way of alchemizing it is anyone can come back. I must admit, I looked at Meghan coming back and I was like, she's gutsy, because a lot of people would have crumbled at the amount of stuff. I'm not saying she's a saint, by the way, before I get called Sussex Squad, which has been thrown at me in the past. I'm not Sussex Squad. I'm in no squad but my own squad. Okay, just to clarify that. Um, we can, you can come back from anything. If we could look at all of these lives on the world stage that trigger us and actually get inspiration from them, we can make a better world for ourselves and for each other. We're not going to spend all day looking on Twitter for the next troll to come along and feed our frenzy. Just imagine, just let her have a business, let her sell her jams, let her copy King Charles if you think she's copying King Charles, let her copy Catherine Princess of Wales, let her, let Harry support her. Just let her. Feel into that in your body, just let them. Imagine if you also took it to a next level and said everything that they're doing and saying is actually helping to awaken something within us all. Because, when you think back to Nicole Rumble then Meghan Markle, when she came here as Anne and she was put on the scaffold, when you go on the scaffold, it's the Rotten Tomatoes energy. You're jeered and you're judged and you're laughed and hang 'em. Horrible, horrible energy. Well, she's in there now, but she's just not got a French swordsman next to her ready to whoosh. Do you know what I mean? So I also think as well, and I'm guilty of this as well, and this is how I can talk about it because I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, worn it quite a few times, and ironed it and washed it, and then put it on again. Is we need to get out of this hang 'em, draw 'em, and quarter 'em energy, whether it's the scaffold that were there in the past life or whether it's online. And I wonder as well if she's here to purge that scaffold. That could be why she is so gutsy. I mean, people can say it's narcissistic, and it possibly is narcissistic. I ain't a psychologist or whatever would the person would come in and diagnose that. So let's not diagnose it. But if you think you've had a past life where your husband and your king decided to get your head lopped off and you stood on the wooden plank, forgot the name of it and I've just said it, to get yourself beheaded with all the powers that were of the time wanting you to get killed, your uncle, your dad, watching your brother get his head lopped off, watching your friends get their head lopped off. You know what's gonna phase you. Nothing's gonna phase her. Um, Nothing's gonna phase her. We have to stop it. I have to stop it. We all have to stop it. Whether it's Trumpers, we've got to let these people do what they've come here to do. We may not get it. We may not understand it. It may upset us. It may hurt us. It may scare the shit out of us at times. But we've got to understand it. Can I just take it away from Meghan into the pandemic? So, however the pandemic came into being, the pandemic was such an important event. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I'm listening to Liam Brown at the minute, the Full Power podcast, and the amount of people, and there's a sober one I'm listening to as well, which is called, let me look at it for you. Sober Stories, and I think it's Sober Stories. Just give me a minute, bear with me. And people come on and share their stories of sobriety, and the amount of stories that started in the pandemic. Let me just go on to my podcast. Yeah, it's called Sober Stories. Yeah. The amount of people, and it's the same on Liam's channel, that have went through that pandemic and had crisis points, and the stories that are still flowing out about people that, rather than slobbed, changed their lives, walked away from toxic businesses, toxic all kinds of things, habits. They made new businesses. They did this. They did that. Humanity needed the pandemic. The pandemic was a vital part of the awakening. Yes, there was all the other stuff. Do you see how when something comes in or is manifested or manufactured or whatever it is, be it a political situation, be it an illness, be it a celebrity, be it a royal family, be it or whatever, it gets alchemized. Many people alchemize it and flip it into something else. I'll share a story with you. I got triggered a few weeks ago when I found out that Kate was sorry. See, I do it all the time. I get I get pulled up for calling her Kate, but to me, I still remember her as Kate Middleton because I'm the same age and I grew up with her being Kate Middleton. But apologies, Catherine, Princess of Wales. Um, can I just say as well, when I call her Kate, I'm not being disrespectful. I'll tell you why I call her Kate, because when I call her Kate, I'm bringing in the energy of the young girl that she was, that she has had to sacrifice to become who she is. So every time I call her Kate, either intentionally or sometimes by pure accident, it's actually my way of actually recognizing that there's more to her than a princess, that there's actually a young girl in there that she had to lose in order to step into that role. So anyway, I don't know if it was last week or a few weeks ago. Anyway, it came through that she was going to be slowing down her duties, that she wasn't going to be doing, allegedly according to the papers, that she wasn't going to be doing tours abroad, etc., allegedly according to the papers. But at the same time, she was abroad on holiday. At the same time, I got a big tax bill, which, can I just say, I love paying bills because I'm abundant. But it just came in at a time I thought, bloody hell, where are you paying all of this tax? Bear with me, don't run at me. And she's not good. She's not going to. I know she's been ill. So I sat with her and I was a bit. And then I thought, actually, No. If the other royal mothers, including the late Queen, including Princess Diana, including Queen Mary, Queen Victoria, all of them, had actually put their children first and put their health first and put their mental health first, then maybe we won't have the problems that we've got now. Maybe Andrew wouldn't have had his Epstein problems. Maybe Charles wouldn't have had the issues with his marriage to Diana and all of that and friendships with Jimmy Savile. Maybe Anne would have found happiness in her first marriage or whatever, or she'd have met Captain Tim Lawrence, Commander Lawrence, whatever he is, after, first, before, etc. Um, and actually, if the monarchy is going to stay around, then they need a mother's love. They need a mother's love before they need being taught how to be kings and queens and princesses and dukes. And that's how you alchemize the darkness of that. So fair play to her, because also as well, Catherine, Princess of Wales, was also Catherine of Aragon, who was mother to the Queen that was known as, very sadly, Bloody Mary, Mary Tudor. Okay, um, and look what happened to her. So actually, that's how you alchemize. And actually, I thought maybe Catherine is actually teaching me something here, that it is okay to slow down. It is okay to say no. It is okay to say, I'm not going to be doing this anymore. Actually, I've been to the brink of possibly death. Not I as in me, I as in her. Um, and actually, I've seen something more, that life's too precious to wait. That life is too precious to waste on cutting ribbons, shaking hands, putting on the latest fashions, pandering to the needs of the people. Not when you've got a king to bring up, not when you've got future princes and princesses to bring up that are going to be responsible in this change that's coming. And I was like, actually, fair play, Catherine. So we all, and I think as well, we are all allowed to be triggered, because trigger helps you to grow. It helps you to actually make connections with people. It's when we stay in those triggers, when we actually have no idea how to alchemize them. Let's pull a card for this whole thing. Ooh. Courage, strength, fierceness, and family. The truth is, as well, we are all one. We are all one. Opening heart, deep connections, and water blessings. There's power in, I don't like what you've done, or I don't like how you live, or I don't agree in it, or it doesn't rock my, or it doesn't, not rock my boat, 'cause it does rock a lot of boats how Meghan lives, but you know what I mean? It doesn't rock my world. I don't know. But actually, I wish you well. Imagine getting to a point where you can, and take this into your personal life, where you can think about an ex or a friend that betrayed you or whatever, and think, I didn't like what you did. It broke me or whatever. But actually, you taught me a lot, and I wish you well now. I swear to God, every cell in your body goes like it opens. You can feel it in your gut. When you have those moments, they're really off the scale. It's all just an illusion anyway. You take it into it's all just an illusion. And also as well, when humanity actually gets it that we're all being played at the minute anyway, in various different ways. We're all being played. The powers that were in the world know that we're so easily triggered. They know what strings to pull. Because whilst we're ripping each other apart online, whilst we're ripping each other apart in life, we're not looking in the other direction. That's interesting. Okay. Whenever we knock a woman down, we're not just knocking the woman down, we're knocking the divine feminine frequency down. I'm also being shown the witch trial energy, that villages were encouraged by vicars and the powers that were in those villages, priests, doctors, all kinds of things to go against women that we may not have understood. They may have been dabbling, some of them were dabbling in black magic, of course they were. Some of them were possibly issues. They weren't all innocent women. There were some things, there were problems. There was a lot of hexing and cursing going on. But what happened was anyone that didn't fit the mold, if this was happening back in the day, back in the olden days, we would be watching her public execution. We'd be watching her getting beheaded. Do you want to be part of that? Whether it's a beheading or whether it's an online execution, do we want to be part of that? They just do it differently now because they know that that's not allowed. Well, in civilized society, so civilized places, it's not allowed beheadings. In civilized mindsets, it's not allowed. Can't get away with it anymore. So they do it in a different way. And I'm not saying that she's squeaky clean because I don't think she is. I think there are concerns there. But who am I to judge? I'm not her God. I'm not her guides. I'm not her record keeper. I wasn't there when they decided what she was going to come down and show us. So another thing the Let Them book talks about is how people are not actually trained and taught how to deal with anger, and they just sick it out. We just sick it out. Be it in a comment section, be it in an email, be it in a text, be it in a face-to-face, we just sick this vitriol out because we've not been taught how to deal with it. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be triggered. We're not going to be toxic positivity, but we go off and we deal with that. We sit with it. We call our guides in. We call the light in. We don't go off and blast it out into the world. Do you know, I didn't realize what I was doing when I chose this deck. The mystic, the mystic Magdalene, Mary Magdalene got, brought down as well, didn't she? Named as a whore when she wasn't really a whore. Whoa. And guess who comes out? I am the Grail. Hold on to your power. I swear to you, whenever you lose your power, whenever you go into anger, vitriol, rage, fear, and I know this because I've been there numerous times, you lose your power, and that's where anxiety and depression comes from. One of the aspects of causing depression and anxiety. When we're working with a client in shamanism and they have anxiety, one of the biggest things behind that, because there's various different things as well, is the fact that they've lost their personal power. We lose our personal power by sticky beaking into other people's business. We lose our personal power through trauma. We lose our personal power by getting drawn into the global chaos. And he said, she said, let's make some noise, etc. And that is where it comes from. This is my power center. Song of Songs, express your love. Let's take another card. Love light, recognition. Also, as well, I want to say, and I did this mistake with Spare, so I put my hand up. When we watch something, be it a film or read something, be it a book, listen to it, a podcast, or watch a drama series or a cookery thing, and we're watching it to look for fault, we're watching it to get ourselves triggered, that says more about us than it does about the person that's created it. And I did that with Spare, and I wish I'd not. I wish I'd said, you know what, it's not for me right now. I'll settle my energies and I'll read it in the future, or I won't read it at all. That says more about us than it does about whoever created it or whoever's starring in it. I've not watched it yet because I've not been in a good space for it. but I possibly will give it a watch. I'll give it a go. But that minute, I think I can't deal with this. I can't deal with it. This is not me. I can't deal with what's going on in it, the energies. I will switch it off and I will go and get on with the rest of my life and my day. I won't sit there watching it because that says more about us than it does the creator. Hmm. Anything else we want to talk about in this video? So if you want to see the tarot reading, we're going to be doing, because this is the spiritual channel, okay? Yes, tarot readings are spiritual, but it's just a separate thing. I am going to still keep doing the Thursday reads on here. Um, but one of the things I want to do with them, because it can be quite easy to get dragged into shit when you do that type of work, is to try and keep them on this type of level. Because to go into anything else is just, even when we do the reads on there, we're going to try and keep it into a level where we're not getting involved in the tittle tattle cackle fest that's out there. It's hard because, yeah, you could pull cards on this stuff that she's done, and it's, it could bring up a whole shitstorm. So it's hard to read that and alchemize. It's not called bullshitting, it's called alchemizing. It's hard when you're reading on the things that Trump's doing, or the things that Biden's done, or the things that, etc. Because there's chaos and conflict there. It's really hard. It's easy to do a reading and go, it's so easy to do that. You don't even need to be a reader to do that. You don't even know be able to read cards to pull cards and go nuclear on something or somebody else. But we've got to do that better. So I hope this has helped. Let's pull a card, a final card. Don't watch that if you can't sit in your heart space. Don't read a book if you can't sit in your heart space with it. Don't listen to a podcast if you can't sit in your heart space with it. I've been there and done that, and that's why I know about it, because it just makes you ill and it says more about you than it does the creator. Earth magic, fearlessness, and removing obstacles. Stop turning people into your worst enemies. Stop looking at Meghan, Trump, whatever. Next door neighbour, your boss as your obstacle. You are your obstacle. We are our obstacles. Nobody can control you without your permission. Angelic assistance, divine guidance, and loving support. So I think that's it. Should we do a final card from this deck? Oh, I've got something else to tell you as well. Blessed be. Incoming messages. She does beekeeping, doesn't she? Incoming messages. Whenever you go into anger and vitriol, you lose your connection to spirit and to source and to light. You'll find this interesting. A couple of weeks ago, it's actually behind me on my shelf. No, it's not. It's there. Can't get it because it's over there. But I was reading the Alison Weir series and the Six Wives, and in it, and I've been doing some research around it. Did you know that number one, Anne Boleyn's nanny or maid was called Nanny Orchard or some or Mrs. Orchard, or American Riviera Orchard? I know that's changed now, but also did you know that I don't was it called a still room? I can't remember. But Anne Boleyn's mom had I think it was a still room. If I've got it wrong, it's fine. And they used to make potions and lotions and jams. Literally, I swear to God, I was reading it when she did that. Meghan did that video where Harry hands her the phone, and yeah, and she says, "Jam is my jam." That video, and I was like, I read that on the same day that she kind of announced it. That Anne Boleyn used to make, and I was like, whoa. But anyway, there you go, you say. So thanks for watching. Love to all. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, those that can comment in light, love, and compassion, you are welcome. I have to say this as a disclaimer. Anyone that comes in the comment section that is going to try and cause harm, controversy, or just use it as a spewing fest, unfortunately, I apologise, but your comments will not be allowed on the thread because we don't do that on this channel. Thank you for watching. Love to all. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.